I am about to make a bold statement. In fact, a very bold statement, maybe the most outrageous thing I've ever said on this channel. And that is that this Ashera Aeon fountain pen in olive wood is the most unique fountain pen that I've ever encountered. True. However, it's also kind of weird, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. And I'm really excited to sort of talk it through with you. And in this video, I'm going to talk about Ashera, where it comes from. We're going to speak about olive wood and its history and how it's seen around the world in myth and magic. And of course, I'm going to review this fountain pen. Honestly, the good, the bad, the strange, the confounding. We'll go through it all. So join me today, won't you, as I present the Ashera Aeon in olive wood. So thank you so much for joining me today, and if you enjoy this fierce and independent style of pen reviews without any outside editorial interference whatsoever, then please like and subscribe. I will certainly appreciate it. And I also want to thank the folks at Ashera for sending me this pen. It was very generous of you, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts about it with my viewers. First off, one of the things I should mention is I don't like wood pens. I don't like wood as a material from which pens are made from, and sometimes you encounter a lot of sort of cheap wood pens that just have components screwed in and assembled, and I don't really enjoy those pens very much. However, I do like wood. I think it's a beautiful substance. I think it's pretty amazing that it lived a long life. It grew as a tree and became part of a component for building, or in this case, this object of art, this fountain pen that we'll be looking at today. So it is interesting that it has grain, it has a certain organic feel to it. So I do appreciate that. But wooden pens, not necessarily something that I go out of my way for. So Ashera is a German fountain pen brand. It's a little quirky. It was founded by Marius Visser, who is an actual person. I've seen him on Joost Appelboom's channel being interviewed. So in this case, at least we know he is real, which isn't always a given in the fountain pen world with some of the viral videos out there with pretend CEOs. But this is a company with a mission. They want to use sustainable materials to make a beautiful pen, and they plant 250 trees for each pen, which is wonderful. I love sustainability, and I certainly want our forest of the world to propagate and be very healthy. So all good things. And the goal of Ashera is to take these traditional materials like wood and to combine them with modern components to create their pens. And we'll discuss how successful they either are or are not at this as we move along. But first, we need to talk about Olea Europaea, that is, olive wood. The olive tree is one of the oldest cultivated trees in human history. Some living olive trees today are over 1,000 years old. In Greek mythology, Athena gifted the olive tree to the city of Athens. It wasn't a decorative gift. It gave food, oil, light, trade. It represented stability and wisdom. I mean, just think of an olive tree and olives and all the fruit and all the oil that comes from it. I mean, it's a beautiful sort of twisted, gnarled, interesting tree. I think modern olive wood carries those ancient associations. It's hard to think of an olive without thinking of an olive branch extending this sign of peace to someone, a way to sort of repair a broken relationship, or a dove bringing back an olive leaf as a sign of land in the story of Noah's Ark. So olive wood just conjures these feelings of survival, renewal, of regeneration after catastrophic loss. It's a wood of hope. Olive wood shows up in traditional folk magic. It's a sign of purification and renewal. Olive branches in their homes as a means of protection and purification. Olive trees live for a long time, and they bend and they move and they gnarl and they get ancient and beautiful. And it just carries a lot of that knottiness into its grain, into its look, and we're going to see that in this pen. So the one thing about a pen made out of wood is that truly no two are the same. They're going to have different grain patterns, different knots, different coloration, different treatments. And this one is quite pretty. In fact, it has quite a bit of negative area, which makes the grain that much more interesting, the grain being much darker. In this very olivey color, if you will, this brown and tan and just some beautiful depth and knottiness. It certainly has a warmth to it, coats of lacquer on here, so it has a bit of depth. It's definitely been treated with care, but I think the first thing that confronts you is the shape of this pen. I mean, it's a little bizarre, truly. It's not made to be carried. I challenge anyone to carry this pen. I mean, you'd have to grip it and carry it around with you. It is truly a desk pen, and I think that might be why it comes in this decorative box with these magnetic clasps that have a bit of a canoe-shaped cradle to hold your pen so that you can keep it on your desk, because this is not a pen you're taking with you to a cafe to journal. I challenge you. I can't do it. For one thing, it's too long to put anywhere. This is at least 160 millimeters, which makes it the longest fountain pen I've ever encountered, except maybe for the Lamy Joy. It's kind of ridiculously large, and it's pointy like a wand. So if you want a fountain pen that feels like a wand, this is your pen. And I think it sort of leans into those magical associations through that. So if you're fine with having a fountain pen that's stationary, almost like a desk pen at the bank 40, 50 years ago, then I think this is a good choice for you. But it really is quite elongated and quite pointy, which is a little challenging for me, to be honest. I don't really enjoy the shape very much. I don't find it portable. That definitely lowers its uses for me. And I don't really like to clutter up my desk, my workspace, to be honest. So I don't really want to put it on my desk. So if you take the cap off, and there are only 3 threads, so the cap just likes to fly off. So it just comes off incredibly easy. So be aware of that. I found myself just sort of being without a cap at times while I was preparing for this video. But once you negotiate the cap, and I'm still just amazed at how easy it comes off. But I guess if you're using it as a desk pen, you want to have quick access to it. So I get that, I suppose. But once you do unscrew it, you get this titanium grip that's made in Bavaria and a yellow gold nib from Bach, which is a nice gold nib, reliable enough, somewhat mismatched on the silvery titanium, this yellow gold. The nib itself is unadorned, so kind of has an off-the-shelf generic feel to it, to be honest. And if you unscrew it, you of course get a converter, and it's a converter as you would find on any pen, really, at any price. So you put this all together, and it sort of has the feel of one of those kit pens where the components just have 2 pieces of wood just matched to it, and they chose to make these quite pointy. So I find that a little challenging. The one thing I will say about the nib is that it's very easy to replace. I always do this too. I go to uncap it and I unscrew it. It's probably a me problem, but I find myself doing that, and then it feels like it doesn't close right. So I just find this really challenging. And that's part of the reason why I feel like I need to speak so much about this, because there it goes. It's just confounding to me. Maybe it's me, but okay, back to the nib. The nib is generic enough that it's easy to replace, but we have to keep in mind that this is not an inexpensive pen. And if you want one of these, you can buy it directly from Ashera, or you can pick it up from Apple Boom Pens. They carry it as well. It is quirky, I will say that. It's also quite light. It's about 27 grams on my scale. And feels nice in the hand. I'll say that. It's long enough that I don't even think you'd contemplate posting it. It also feels a little slippery too. The titanium grip has no raised ridge between the grip and the nib. I find myself sliding down quite a bit. I wish there was something here a little bit more tactile on the grip, perhaps a bit of grading or something so you can anchor your fingers better. Even up here where I would normally put my fingers, there's quite a big step down between the barrel and the grip, and it doesn't feel all that comfortable there. So I'm sort of stuck at the grip, which I feel is a little slippery. So it'd be nice if it were a bit more tactile. So how does this pen write? It writes as you would expect a Bach nib to write. It's a bit generic feeling, but it's smooth enough. It's precise enough. It's pleasant enough to write with as a nib. It has gone through an additional finishing and smoothing process by the folks at Ashera, according to their website, and at least in mine, it certainly shows. It's a very, very pleasant nib. But that grip is so slippery. It may be the most slippery metallic grip of any pen I've ever encountered. And I'll also say that often when I review a pen, I do try to spend a lot of time with it. I had a hard time writing with this for anything longer than short bursts and different things I was trying out for the channel. It's not one that really invited me to come back and try again or journal with it. It was a bit of a challenge, to be honest. Signing your name at your desk, I think it would be fine, but I have a responsibility to you as someone who sees a lot of pens, that when I encounter one that I frankly don't bond with or I have some challenges with, it's hard because I don't want to be impolite. It's very nice that the folks from Ashera sent me this pen. They made no editorial suggestions. I wouldn't listen to them even if they did. It's beautifully made. It's a beautiful piece, but it does feel very generic. It just feels like they spent time on the wood and then they screwed it into some generic components. But in this case, they happen to be nice quality generic components, a gold nib and some titanium grip. It's nicely done. But when I think that this costs retail $938 US and there's tariffs and whatnot, I'm just wary of it. It's hard for me to get excited about it. It's hard for me to say to you that you should put your money toward this pen when I think about what else you could get for $900. You could get two Pilot Custom 823s. You could get a Pilot Custom 845. You're in Mont Blanc territory. At this, you could get, and see, the cap is coming apart, and all I did was wave it. You can get a Mont Blanc 146 for that kind of money. So it's just hard for me to recommend this to you unless you are absolutely crazy about wooden pens and olive wood and a shape of a pen that's sort of an elongated pointy wand of a pen that you're going to keep on your desk and not be able to clip to a journal or carry with you. So I don't recommend this fountain pen. I didn't enjoy writing with it. I had a little bit of trouble doing the video, and I even considered not recording this video. But I think the stronger story here is that these stories need to be told. And just because a company sends me a pen, it doesn't mean I'm going to review it positively. I'm just going to tell you my thoughts and feelings and my struggles. And I think this video is a story of my struggle with this pen that I've used off and on for about a month, but never longed for, never really wanted to go back to, like some of the fountain pens that I use on this channel. Some fountain pens that I bought for the channel or someone was gracious enough to give me became favorites, ended up in my top 5. With this, I just don't feel excited at all. So I guess on that bombshell and that terrible disappointment, it's time for me to end. I do hope you enjoyed this video. It is beautiful, this wood, but there are so many better choices. I probably would price this pen around $300. Then I think I'd feel better about it. So if you've enjoyed this video, the honesty, the review, then please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you on this journey with me. And if you'd like to support the channel even more, I have a membership program. I'd love to have you behind the scenes. And we have a pen pal group for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members. And I make new videos all the time. Sometimes they're glowing reviews, sometimes not so much. But I can promise you we will see each other again very soon, further up the road. So take care.